Hi guys, it's Erin from Ginger's Florals. Today I'm out in the field, as you can see, specifically in the Dahlia patch. Apologize ahead of time, it's a little windy out here, so if it messes with the audio, I'm sorry about that. But most of you, I'm sure, saw the video a couple weeks ago where I planted all of my dahlias, but I've been asked to talk about what varieties I planted, and I want to talk specifically, I'll list them all and put pictures up, but I want to talk specifically about the few that are my favorites and some tried and true that are great for arrangements and put out loads of stems, and a few that I've actually grown from seed myself that I love. So I do have notes in front of me, so if you see me looking down, that's why. I don't want to forget. I have 35 different varieties out here. So most of which I have about 10 each of the tubers in the ground. Again, small farm, but still there's almost 300 dahlias in here, and there's a few that I have just a few of, so they have smaller amounts obviously, but I'm trying to get to where I have 10 of each, and that way I have enough to do a good amount of bouquets with each of them. So I'm just gonna start. I did a sort of in order by color, but you know, it's never quite perfect. So I'll just run through the varieties that I have, and then I'll switch gears and I'll talk to the ones that are my favorites, like I said, and the tried and true good producers. So the first row we have Bridezilla. It's a great white one. Apple Blossom, which it's a beautiful colorette, and I love the colors of it. It doesn't produce quite as well as I would want to, and colorettes never last very long, but I grow it for any kind of wedding work, and it really is beautiful. I have Cafe au Lait. She is the classic, right? She's always there. It's a relatively decent producer for flowers. It's not a huge amount that comes out of it, but the ones that do are absolutely gorgeous. Those huge dinner plate, creamy colored. The next one is Breakout, which surprisingly, in my experience, gives me more bouquets than more flowers than Cafe au Lait, but they're much bigger and just gorgeous. Like I said, I'll put pictures up. The next one in that row is A la Mode. It's very similar to Peaches and Cream, only a little more on the brown side. This is also another really good one that I like. And then Henrietta. This one, it's smaller. It's probably only 2.5, 3 inches, but there's real spiky and petals, and that peach color that it is just gorgeous. It goes with everything. The next row, I have Brookside Snowball, which is just a little white, small white, just ball, and it's a good one. It's classic, nothing special, nothing crazy. Then Linda's Baby. This one I love the colors of. It's very similar to the colors of Cafe au Lait and Castle Drive, but it doesn't produce as well for me, but I still grow it because the colors are gorgeous. And then the next one I have in here, it doesn't have a name. I've numbered it 2302. It's a very creamy, it looks like a mini Cafe au Lait, just beautiful. The next one in that line is Castle Drive. Classic one. There's a back and forth of whether it's Castle Drive or, I can't think of the other name of it, but there's two that it could be. Either way, it's a gorgeous flower, puts out tons of blooms. The next one is Peaches and Cream, where it's similar, like I said, to A la Mode, but more on that peachy side rather than brown with the dual colors. Cornell Bronze, this one I do enjoy a lot, and it puts out tons of flowers. Chewy, that's a new one to me last year. I really loved the color of it. It's a lot of fun. That one I really enjoy having. And there's one I have in here called Cheers that is a classic. It comes on a little later than the others, but it has this really pretty peachy pink color with kind of a purpley center. It's beautiful. It's not one that I'm used to seeing. It's not a color combination that I've seen a lot of. The next row is, we have Giggles, which is one of my favorites. It's a really good, sweet little collarette. Again, kind of like Apple Blossom, they never last very long in the vase, but I still love them. The next one is a Sweet Natalie. That's a really pretty pinky, kind of almost silvery color combination. This is another really good one. The next one is Fatima. I don't know how to say it, but it's a bright pink. This one's a good one. It was also new to me last year, but I love the colors of it. It's just so bright. The next one is Bracken Rose. I have tried to grow this one a couple different times. It hasn't come up yet in the fields. I don't know if it's just super late to come on or what, but I have tried a couple different times. This is the last go. If I can't get it to grow and really produce flowers, I'm going to give up on it. But the colors are just so gorgeous. The next one is new to me this year. It's called American Dawn. It was recommended to me, so I'm giving it a shot. It's really pretty. I'll put the pictures up. The next one is Cornell. That was new to me last year, but man, is it a good producer. It's a really deep, dark red ball type dahlia, and it's just gorgeous. And it puts out so many flowers. It's a lot like Marn in that way. The next one is one of my absolute favorites. It's Labyrinth. That one, the colors, the raspberry, the cream, the kind of yellowy orange, and it changes color throughout the season. It's just one of my favorites. The next one is a pink water lily. I don't have a name for it. It was given to me. I think it's a pretty common one, but it is a fantastic producer. This sucker, I can get 20 tubers off of one plant each year, and it's just insane. And it puts out just as many flowers as tubers, so it's a really strong one. The next one is Dazzle Me, another pink. I love this one. I've gone all in on pink this year, and these brighter pinks, they just make me happy. Another one is Caitlin's Joy. Another pretty one. It was new to me last year. I only got a couple of blooms off of it, but still, I'm giving it another go. The next one in that row is another one that I grew from seed that I collected a couple years ago. It's just has the number 2301. That was just gorgeous. It's not a very big one, and it's got that interesting shape, almost like the Cheers, but it's like the brightest fuchsia pink, and I love it. If I can keep it going and it holds up over the next couple years, I will try to name it and then sell some tubers and get them out into the world. I love this one. And the last one in that row is called Mai Tai. This is a classic. It's great, big, huge. It's called Mai Tai because of the coloring. It's the inside of the inner petal it's kind of a bright yellow, and then it changes to an orange, and then it tips with red. It's really beautiful. Huge flowers, late to flower, but huge flowers. They make a statement for sure. And then the last row, I have Ivanetti. That one was new to me last year. I've only had a couple blooms, but I'm gonna give it another go. Diva, that's a pretty tried and true classic for me. It's a deep dark burgundy kind of color. I always want to have a few of the really dark blooms, and they surprisingly go with a lot of the other colors. They kind of ground a bouquet. And Diva is a really good strong one that just puts out lots and lots of flowers. The next one, I also don't know the name of it. It was a gift to me from a friend with another flower farm up the road. I just labeled it a golden ball. It's a really pretty color. If you know the name of this dahlia, let me know. I know it has a name somewhere. I don't know what it is. The next one in this row is another one that I grew from seed. The last one that I grew myself from seed that I collected. This one I loved so much, and we have named it. We named it after Emily Harriet, which is my husband's granddaughter. She's just the sweetest thing. But this bright, shiny, bright soft, bright yellow color that this one is, it just reminded me of her so much. She's just a shining light for the family, so it suited. The last one in that row is called Bloomquist Crave. It's another one that I just grew for the first time last year, and I have a few of, so I'm going to give it another go. And then the last row is Chickadee. The first one is Chickadee. This is this really cool little pompon that no two flowers are the same. The colors are really pretty, but they change. Every one of them will have more white or less white or more purple or more burgundy. It's really a cool one. I highly recommend anybody to grow that one. Lights Out is in this row. That's another one like Diva. That's another good producing dark colored one. I like to have that one also along with Diva. It's just it's a different shape, and it grows really well. The last two on this row are Sunkissed, which has a similar coloring to the Emily Harriet one, but a completely different shape. It's a really good one. I've grown it for years. It puts out a good steady stream of flowers, and it's a big one that people really like that one. It's really bright and cheerful. And then the last one is Marn. Marn will always be one of my favorites just because it's such a good producer. I like orange in bouquets amazingly. I never thought that I would. I usually go towards some more pastel-y colors, but if you've seen my earlier videos this year, the orange ranunculus are always fantastic. The orange lilies have made a statement, and people gravitate to that bright color, and I like it, and it's a heck of a producer for both tubers and flowers. So real quick, I want to go through my absolute favorites out of this list and why. So the first one is Breakout. I talked a little bit about it before, but this flower, it just makes such a statement. It's sort of that cross between the Cafe au lait and Labyrinth with the coloring, but it's huge and just gorgeous. For me, it's not a great landscape one just because it's so big that it flops over, and I don't like to have huge stakes on all my dahlias in my gardens themselves. I will if it's an important one, but this one in bouquets, it's really good for arranging for weddings and stuff like that, but in like a market bouquet, it's not quite as practical, but totally growing it every year as long as I can. The next one that I love is Castle Drive. We've spoke to all of these, but Castle Drive, it's got those perfect colors that go with weddings. They can go in a market bouquet. It's a good size, but it's not like a dinner plate, and it produces so many flowers. I can get 3-4 blooms every week off of each plant, so it's really, for my purposes, it does a wonderful job. One of my absolute favorites. The next one I have is Peaches and Cream. Again, this is just it's an unusual coloring, and it draws people in. I particularly love it. If you can't tell, I like a lot of those creamy, peachy colors. And this one, it's just really hardy. Like it will start blooming early, and it will go all the way through the season, and then it'll go until you get a hard frost. Like, it will still be putting out blooms in November if we haven't gotten a frost, which is not something I can say for all the rest of them. Most of them peter out, as they should really, but most of them do. The next one is the Cornell. So Cornell, like I said, it's a really beautiful dark red, good sized flower, and it's another one that can go with most anything. I don't generally grow a lot of red flowers, but this one, it just works with all the other colors, the soft oranges and the deep dark colors. And the only thing I really wouldn't put it with is like the Cafe au lait or that kind, although I could see it working depending on what other combination is in there. The next one, okay, so this one might be, I don't know if I said that Breakout was my favorite, but I'm going to say they all are. But Labyrinth truly is one of my all-time favorites. The colors that come off of this particular dahlia from the early season to the end, like I said earlier, they change. It'll be more of the raspberry and the bright colors earlier in the season, and by the end of the season, it's almost like a faded version of itself. But the wild shape of the flower, the petals, it's, I don't know, it's not quite as crazy as like a Bad Hair Day or one of those just monster kooky ones. It's still really beautiful, and it's graceful in the wildness that it has. At least in my opinion, it's one that I will always grow. Even if I lose all my tubers one year, I'm going to buy more and grow it. It goes with absolutely everything. I've never not sold a bouquet that has Labyrinth in it. I'm not the only one that thinks that it's just gorgeous. And then the last one I've already talked about is one of my favorites is Marn. That really soft orange color that it is. It's not like a jarring, like punch you in the face kind of orange. It's a soft orange that goes with absolutely everything. I will put that one with Cafe. And I'll also put it with the deep dark ones that I have. It's fantastic. And it puts out more flowers than I could ever ask for on a plant. More than any of the other ones, it is definitely, well, besides maybe that pink water lily. It's a tried and true, and it's gorgeous, and I love it. And it's easy to work into bouquets because it's not huge. Some of the dinner plates, as gorgeous as they are difficult to work with in a bouquet. They tend to want to point down. They don't give much, and then they just dominate a bouquet. But the ball shaped ones, and a few of the dinner plates like the Labyrinth, those ones work well. They play with each other in the bouquet, in the arrangement, and they do well. Marn is one of the absolute best for that. And then I wanted to go through my tried and true. I've kind of talked to most of them already. The best ones for flower producing and tuber producing. Castle Drive, definitely one of the absolute best. If you're in it to grow the plants to sell the tubers, Castle Drive is a really good one. It also puts out, like I said, tons and tons of flowers throughout the season. Another one is Cornell. I started off with one. This year I've planted 10 and I sold a few. So that one's another really good one. That pink water lily I spoke to, I will always forever have that one. I think just it's even really hardy with the weather. Like we had some long extended below freezing or single digit temperatures this winter, and my pink water lilies that had been planted out front, I expected them all to be dead, but nope, they're coming up, and they're 1.5 feet tall already. So yeah, this is a tough one. If any of you know what the name of this one is, because I think it's pretty common, let me know. I'm sorry if the camera's shaking a little bit here and there. And then the last one we've already spoken to at length is Marn. Very, very good, tried and true. Grow it for the color, grow it for the number of blooms, the size of the blooms, and the tubers that you get out of it. It's a really, really good, strong producer. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the flowers, the dahlias that I grew from seed. If I could spit it out, it'd be great. The few that I grew, I did some hand pollinating a couple years ago, and I saved the seeds and I planted them. And these three for sure, I saved several, but these three are my favorites. That's why they made room in the cut flower garden. So I've got, like I said, that 2302, which is a really lovely mini cafe au lait look. It's probably only 3-4 inches across, as opposed to cafe, which is an 8 to 10 inch. size flower. It's much more manageable in a bouquet, and the color, that creamy, soft color is just, it's just perfect. We'll see this year how it does. I can't recall if it had a sturdy neck or a soft neck. That's one of the things that matters the most to me. If it's kind of floppy, it's not really useful. The next one I talked about was 2301. It's a super bright fuchsia pink. It's kind of similar shape and size. Well, the shape is, it's more like a water lily type, but it's small. And again, if it'll hold up and it has that strong stem. At the end of the season last year, it was really super busy, and I just don't remember how well it performed. I remember how beautiful it was. So growing it this year again, and we'll see. I'll take better notes and see if it does well in bouquets, what kind of vase life, make sure it's really good. It's a decent tuber producer. I got quite a few of them, so that's on the plus side. And then the last one is Emily Harriet. She's a great big old dinner plate, but it's that soft yellow color. It's a favorite for the bumblebees to crawl up in there and fall asleep. I'll see if I have any of those pictures. But it's just one of my favorites. A lot of times when you grow from seed, the majority of what you're gonna get is single flowered or collarette style. Because it makes sense. Those are just the easiest ones for the bees to get to. So they pollinate those ones first, and then they traipse around to the other ones. It's a bit of a more painstaking process to do your own cross-pollinating. But for me, it's worth it, because I'm always going to have some of those single and collarette types in the garden. So it's going to tend to skew that way when I collect seeds from whichever ones that I have at the end of the season. But if I do the specific cross-pollinating, I can increase my odds of having ball shaped or anything other than a single or a collarette. As beautiful as they are, for what I do and what I want to grow, they're a little less practical. So the ones that I've grown, like obviously I have saved some that have those single and collarette shapes because the coloring was just fantastic. A lot of pinks with the sort of yellow center that almost looks like they glow. Some different ones. I'll see if I can put a few shots of some of the ones that I've saved over the years, but slowly but surely, even those ones I weed out, just because I want flowers. If I'm going to produce them and put them back out into the world, I want them to be something that is useful, or I don't know if useful is the right word, but it's something that more people will get enjoyment out of than just the single flower dahlias. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Like I said, it was a request from a couple different people in my comment section. So if you have requests of specific things, specific flowers, different types of anything that you want to hear or learn about or see what I'm doing specifically, leave it in the comments. Like I said before, I've said it lots of times, but I do try to respond to as many, if not all of them, that I can. And if I can make a video of what you guys are looking for, all the better, because I can provide for you what you want, and then we're both happy, because I can talk about flowers all day long. It doesn't really matter all that much to me which kind. So yeah, either way, like I said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got some inspiration with some different kinds of dahlias, different shapes and sizes and colors to grow in your garden. And if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.